Breathing and bracing. Now, this is important when you're lifting heavy weights, mainly on the compound lifts if you like. But I want you to focus on this because it's going to, various things, it's going to first of all help you lift better. It's secondly going to help you when we start doing more like tempo stuff and slowing the movements down. But it's also going to stop you from injury. And the reason it's going to stop you from injury, quite simply, is because as you breathe and brace and hold everything in, you've got less chance of your body folding or pulling a muscle and that sort of thing. So I'm going to explain or go through each one individually. So this is mainly on the compound lift, like I say, so squat, bench, overhead press and deadlift. Okay. So first things first. I'm going to face outwards, obviously, so you guys can see and hear me as I'm talking. But in a squat position, so understanding when to breathe and when to brace. So what I mean by breathing and bracing is, in the squat position here, if I was just about to go for however many reps it is going to be, I'm going to breathe in first and bring my chest up. So if you see, my diaphragm is now just raised. Now at that point, I'm going to hold it in, then do the squat, and then I'm going to release when I get to the top. Okay, it's really important. If you release at the bottom, you're going to fold. So first of all, this is how you do it properly. Okay, so again, breathing in, bracing, locking everything in position. All your muscles should be tight. There should be nothing that's loose, and then you're going to do the squat. Now, if I was to do it at the bottom, and breathe out at the bottom, look what happens to the torso and the core. You're then going to struggle to come up, and you'll probably come up looking like this. Okay, so again, breathe in, lock it in, and do the movement. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is going to be a press. So again, it's as you do the press, you want to, before you do the press, take the breath in. So in position, hold in, keep your diaphragm up, lock everything, press, and then let out as you get to the bottom. Okay, the next one I'm going to do is a deadlift. So people get quite confused with deadlift, where to do this. Now, it can make a difference whether you do it a 1 rep or a 10 rep. So with this, I tend to breathe in at the top, into position, then take another breath, and drive through. Now that's me personally what I do. Some people tend to breathe in at the top and just only breathe in once. Some people tend to go to the bottom, breathe in there, and then go. But personally, try and do 2 breaths on this. It's a big lift. It's probably the biggest lift you'll do in the gym. So take a breath in first at the top. Take another one and retract your shoulders back. Then drive through the lift. Okay, so that's the deadlift. Next we're going to go through the bench. So, with the bench position, obviously, I know that I've not got a rack here, but imagine it was on a rack. So, it's going to be in the rack position first. So, imagine it's on the rack. Okay, make sure everything's in position before you unrack it. You then unrack and you breathe in at that point. Now, as you breathe in, drive your shoulders backwards and squeeze into the bench. Breathe in and drive your chest up. Down, back up, breathe out. Okay, so breathe in, breathe out. Okay, so that's all 4 of them. Now, something you want to think about as you do all these, first of all, practice them. You're going to feel a little bit sort of lightheaded at points, or you feel like you've took too many breaths, whatever. Because if you're changing things around, obviously your body's going to be starving of oxygen or getting too much oxygen. There's a change for you. So take your time and go into them, but also think about how many reps you're doing. Okay, so not to confuse things too much, but let's say 1 rep and 10 reps, completely different, right? So you've got to be working a lot different. Each rep you do, for example, squat, breathe out. Breathe in, go, breathe out. Breathe in, go and just get into a pattern. Again, it might take you some time to sort of get used to it and get into it. You might even need to pull your weights back a little bit. However, in the long run, looking at the long game, it's going to help you massively to then become more efficient as you lift. The other thing that I'll leave you with is the tempo. So for example, say we're doing an eccentric of 10 seconds, right? So 10 seconds eccentric. Okay, obviously you're holding your breath for a very long time. So as you build up to that, build the weight up and really try and focus on keeping upright as much as you can. And then as you come out the bottom, breathe out at the top again. So make sure that obviously, especially when it's like a 10 second or an 8 second or it's high number eccentric, make sure you really hold in, because the heavier the weight is, the more you're going to fold and lean forward. Okay, so breathe in and brace in, have a play with it, sort of try and find out the best way for you to do it, and obviously really focus on trying to be as efficient as you can and lock every muscle into place.